The instruments are still there, but the music, the experience, is gone. And yet, none of this tells us why the music ever played in the first place. Some scientists propose that consciousness arises when the brain integrates information in a specific, complex way. This is the foundation of something called integrated information theory, which we'll explore more deeply soon. Others liken consciousness to a spotlight. Only a small part of the brain's processes are illuminated by awareness, while the rest hum along quietly in the background. You don't have to consciously think about breathing, maintaining balance, or remembering your aunt's birthday until your calendar gives you a nudge. Most of what your brain does, it does silently. So then, is consciousness just the tip of the iceberg? It might be. Many scientists and philosophers believe that consciousness is an emergent property, something that arises when a system becomes sufficiently complex. Think of how a flock of birds forms a graceful shape in the sky, or how traffic patterns emerge from individual drivers. No single bird or car creates the structure, but collectively, a new phenomenon appears. In this view, your consciousness is not located in one spot. It emerges from the interplay of billions of neurons across many networks. It's the result of feedback loops, synchronization, and time-sensitive processes working in harmony. But that still doesn't explain what it feels like to be you. To get closer, scientists use brain imaging tools like fMRI and EEG to see what lights up when we're thinking, remembering, or feeling. And these scans show something fascinating. Certain areas of the brain seem more active when we're aware of something, especially in the prefrontal cortex and the thalamus. Yet, activity alone doesn't equal awareness. A computer can process data rapidly, but it doesn't experience it. So how do we know we're not just sophisticated machines? Well, here's an idea that challenges the way we think about the mind. Maybe all complex systems have some form of rudimentary experience. This brings us back to panpsychism, the hypothesis that consciousness could be a fundamental property of the universe. Imagine for a moment, what if consciousness is like gravity or electromagnetism, always there, but only noticeable when certain conditions are met? Just as hydrogen and oxygen under the right conditions create water, perhaps matter and energy under the right conditions create awareness. That might sound far out, but remember, consciousness is not just an academic puzzle. It's the core of everything you know. It's the reason you care. It's what makes a sunset beautiful, a song moving, or a memory precious. Even emotions, joy, sadness, fear, love, are filtered through consciousness. And what's truly intriguing is how fragile it is. A slight bump to the head, a few milligrams of anesthetic, or even a deep sleep can make it vanish temporarily. Yet, when consciousness returns, so does your world. In dreams, we navigate bizarre realities, often unaware that we're not awake. But sometimes, we become lucid, aware that we're dreaming. And in those moments, our consciousness shifts. We take control. We become the architects of our own inner universe. This shows how fluid and dynamic consciousness can be. It's not static. It evolves. From infancy to adulthood, your awareness becomes more layered, bound, more reflective. You gain the ability not just to think, but to think about thinking. And that brings us to another cornerstone of consciousness: self-awareness. Unlike simple awareness, where you sense and react, self-awareness allows you to form an identity, to reflect on your actions, to imagine your future and consider your past. You can ask, who am I? Why do I feel this way? What is my purpose? That's profound. And it's rare. Most animals operate primarily on instincts and learned behaviors, but only a few, like dolphins, elephants, and some primates, show signs of self-awareness. Mirror tests, problem-solving, and empathy hint at a shared thread of consciousness across species. But how far does that thread go? Could a tree be faintly aware of its environment? Could a computer? As artificial intelligence advances, we're forced to ask, at what point does a machine cross the threshold into consciousness? If it learns, adapts, and converses like I am with you now, does that mean it feels? Or is it simply imitating thought? The line is blurry and perhaps intentionally so, because maybe consciousness isn't binary, on or off, but a spectrum. Maybe it grows, deepens, and expands depending on complexity, connection, and context. If that's the case, then each of us carries a unique shape of consciousness. No two are alike. Even in a room full of people experiencing the same event, each interpretation, emotion, and memory will differ. Your consciousness is your private universe, and yet we try to bridge it. Through language, art, music, and storytelling. Through empathy. That desire to share our inner world is deeply human. And maybe that's why you're here now, listening, wondering, exploring the space inside your mind and beyond. Here at Infinity Beyond, we believe consciousness isn't just a topic, it's a frontier. And each question leads us closer to understanding not just the brain, but the soul. So breathe again. Let this curiosity settle into your thoughts. In our next episode, we'll uncover the brain's astonishing mechanisms, how signals, chemicals, and patterns shape who we think we are. Are we merely passengers in a biological machine? Or are we co-pilots in a universe that's aware of itself? Stay curious, stay awake,